Hi, welcome to another episode of Firm Foundations podcast with your hosts CJ and Tony. Last couple of weeks we were dwelling in the land of Genesis 26, and admittedly I've been going off the rails, comparing, just pointing out the obvious similarities between ancient Philistines and modern Gazans, as well as liberal politicians and socialists here in America and, well, worldwide really. And so if you want to get a chuckle watching me lose my mind on that, you can go and check out chapter or episodes 31 and 32. But today, we're going to move on from that. And we're going to look at an episode in the patriarchal family's inner workings. I don't know. We're going to watch them struggle and wrestle through some stuff. With regards to Isaac and his sons and his wife, and there's going to be some intricacies going on that are worthy of a Byzantine palace. But God is in control, as
always.
We are ultimately reminded.
Because of the conniving, scheming things that go on here, he's not without knowing.
Yeah.
But he uses that.
Yeah. And it also serves us as a reminder to check ourselves. If we think we're doing good in our obedience, in our spiritual life, it is always good to take a step back and examine ourselves, so that the Lord doesn't have to examine us too harshly on the day. Because if even Isaac and Jacob and Rebecca could be the way that they were, as we shall see, how much more can we be? That being said, let's dive in.
Alrighty. Genesis 27. Now it came to pass, when Isaac was old and his eyes were so dim that he could not see, that he called Esau his older son and said to him, "My son." And he answered him, "Here I am." Then he said, "Behold now, I am old. I do not know the day of my death. Now therefore please take your weapons, your quiver and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt game for me. And make me savory food, such as I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless you before I die." So he's already assuming that he's fixing to die. And as you had said earlier about his eyesight going dim, that he could not see. So if he couldn't see, he was blind. Basically, I don't know why they. Is there a reason why they say dim instead of blind, or?
Could be that he was legally blind, but not fully.
Okay.
But the DMV didn't exist back then, so the sages debate this at length. And there's several really weird arguments that they make that I'm not going to repeat right now.
Oh, I like the one that we talked about earlier, though.
Which one?
With the angels.
Oh, the angels crying?
Yes, that was quite interesting.
That reminds me of that old Hank Senior song. There's a tear in my beer. But
Thank you.
But I'm not gonna sing anymore and cause y'all to
Cut us off.
stick a pencil in your eardrums. We don't want that to happen. But yeah, one of the arguments was that, as Isaac was bound on the altar, the angels were crying and their tears dripped into his eyes and, caused him to slowly lose sight. And that's not the weirdest one. But at least they actually tie it with a verse in another book, in one of the prophets, and I don't see it. But there is an interesting parallel because of the word usage, because of the verbiage, between this and 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 2 and verse 13. And it came to pass at that time, while Eli was lying down in his place, and when his eyes had begun to grow so dim that he could not see. And then verse 13 goes and says, For I have told him, and this is God speaking to the prophet Samuel. Samuel is just a little boy here, probably 5 to 7 years old. And God has given him a prophecy regarding Eli, who had been serving as the judge of Israel. And he himself was a good judge, but he wasn't the best father. He let his sons get away with a lot of wickedness. And concerning that, it says, For I told him that I will judge his house forever, for in the iniquity which he knows, because his son, or let me reread this. For I have told him that I will judge his house forever for the iniquity which he knows, because his sons made themselves vile, and he did not restrain them. Mm-hmm. Now, what does this have in common with verse 1 of chapter 27 in Genesis? Now it came to pass when Isaac was old, and his eyes were so dim. Right off the bat, in both passages, we see the word dim in English. But the word translated as dim also means to restrain, and that usage we see in verse 13 when it says, because he failed to restrain them. And God's judgment is tied to Eli's unwillingness to restrain his sons from acting wickedly. And because of that, part of the judgment is that his eyesight is growing dim. And the eyesight growing dim is both physical and spiritual. Because when you willingly turn a blind eye to evil, to wickedness, it starts impacting you spiritually. It blinds your spiritual eyes. So there's a poetic union of the physical and the spiritual, and for various reasons that we've already discussed prior in previous episodes, we see the same thing happening here in Genesis 27 with Isaac, because his son is a wanderer, Esau, specifically Esau. He loves to go out into the field, run away from his chores at home, and just do what he wants and shoot the breeze, pretending like he's hunting, sometimes actually hunting. He's a skillful hunter after all, but it's a skill that he gained while he was trying to run away from his responsibilities around the house. And despite that, his father Isaac prefers him, is more partial to him over Isaac, or Jacob, if I could get my name straight. And this is perhaps clouding Isaac's judgment, his spiritual understanding, and the physical is following the spiritual. Mm-hmm. We know with modern medicine that vast majority of illnesses are mentally connected. They're connected to our mental state, our stress, our anxiety. You know, there's a reason why we say laughter is the best medicine. You really do. You know, when you're happy, when your outlook on life is better, the body tends to heal itself faster. Whereas if you're in mental anguish, if you are stressed or afraid or worrying, your body tends to slow down its recovery, and that's why like when in cancer treatment they heavily focus on your mental psychological state of being, because it's going to either help or hinder your recovery. And the same thing is happening here with his sight. Now, another question, though, like we already talked about this, but how old is he? Like, he's so old, right? How old is he?
Well, I said what, 100? At least 100.
Yeah.
And he's expecting to die. What's your guesstimate on his age right at this time?
Yeah. I was thinking at we know he's at least 100 because the passage, the last two chapters sets it up so that we know that. You know, the twins were born when he was 60, and now Esau, last two verses of the previous chapter we just finished, says that Esau was 40 years old when he married the two Hittite women.
Right.
So
we know he's at least 100.
yeah, and some time might have passed. But why I'm asking that question is because the sages of Israel say that he was 123. I don't know how I still don't understand how they got to that precise number. Jameson Fawcett Brown, I should say, commentary, on the other hand, says that he was 137. And I don't understand how they got to that number, that precise number either. So I'm going to have to say, I mean, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that there's...
I'm going to say it's irrelevant, but...
I mean, it's irrelevant, but it's interesting because he's going to live till he's 180, as we're going to see.
Right.
So, even by the oldest estimate, he's over 4 decades away from dying. And if our closer to 100 guesstimate is correct, he's 8 decades away from dying. And it kind of reminds me of my dad because, you know, Dad, when you turn 56, he says, "Oh, I don't know how much longer I'm going to live because my father only lived till he was 56 and my grandfather lived into his 50s. And now he's 77 years old. So way past. And he's still saying, I don't know how long I'm going to live." So, I mean, knowing him, he's probably going to live till he's 125.
I think my dad's father, I think he passed away in his low to mid 70s. My dad's 91 now. So you're going to live as long as when your days are numbered.
Exactly.
You know, you'll live as long until you die.
Yeah.
There's no set time limit. And, you know, we see later on, not in Genesis, but later, one particular person, God granted, if you will, 15 more years to the king. You know, he said, because basically he said, "You're fixing to die. You're done." And he repented and got 15 extra years.
Yeah.
Kind of blows your mind because now he knows it's the 15th year. I got to get stuff done.
Yeah.
But we don't know. Basically, we have no idea when our time is up.
Yeah.
And that's why we should always try to use it as wisely as possible.
Yeah.
But I digress. Let's get back to
Yeah.
Isaac's problem here of being blind, basically, from as early as 100 years old to whenever he starts blessing his children, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, he favors Esau. Don't really know why, other than the fact that maybe he just loves his food so much that this is my favorite son, and that's why he's sending them out, because it states, "Make me savory food, which such as I love." You know,
Yeah.
he put just the right spices in there, and
Man, for a guy who loves to run away from chores, he sure learned how to cook. But I think there's, and we spoke about this before we started rolling the camera. But I think Isaac is in this weird place where people who have lived loosely speaking righteously or wisely, or some people skip their teenage years and go straight into their 30s, mentally speaking, it seems like. And I've noticed that those people sometimes like to look back and say, well, I missed out on a lot of crazy things in life. I might have had some more fun stories to tell if I had been a little wilder. And they seem to have this desire to live vicariously through other people's teenage tendencies, to go run wild and free. And I think Isaac is experiencing this, and he's living vicariously through his son, Esau. Because Jacob is just like Isaac. If you look at him, he's around the house getting stuff done. He's wise,
obedient.
He's Isaac. Isaac was the guy that, like Christ, gave himself over unto death and gained his life back from that. Right? But he was that obedient. So he sees in Esau what could have been if he had, been a little less
straight away.
bottled up.
Kind of reminds me of parents living their lives to their children in sports.
Yeah.
Where nothing else matters. And if they don't do the sport, do that, we'll say football. If they don't play football well enough, then they get onto the child for not playing as good as they think they should have.
Yeah.
Which is really sad. Because any sport, especially with children, is to be played for fun.
Yeah.
Not a competition where if your team loses, well, you all are a bunch of losers. I coached soccer for 3 years, and I told them, I said, I don't care if we win or lose. I said, my main goal is for you all to have fun, and everybody gets to have a chance to play the same amount, to play a whole game, or be the goalie, or be the captain of the team for that particular day. Because when you're 8 years old and you lose a game, your life has not ended. That does not mean that you will not be successful at the later years of your life. And I just have to say, I rebuke you parents who live through your children on these kind of sports. That let them have fun.
Yeah.
But
I mean, let's not let the moms get off though, because
Well,
they
the
do
parents-
the same thing with
oh yeah,
cheerleading
Oh, yeah.
and
beauty pageants.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
God.
We I think my daughter went to 1 or 2 beauty pageants, and I had enough. It's like, it didn't bring her self-esteem down, but I didn't want it to get to that point.
Yeah.
And I'm not completely against them. I'm completely against the fact of what mothers do to their daughters when they start degrading them
Yeah.
for certain things. But
Yeah.
rabbit hole. So I kind of see Jacob as the mama's boy, and that he's not a tough guy.
Yeah.
That's how I picture it, because Isaac has always favored his other son, who is out in the wilderness, being a man, so to speak.
Macho man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the difference I see when how Isaac sees it.
Yeah.
And like you said, he's living through his son because that's what he wanted to do,
Yeah.
but just never did for whatever reason it was. But
Yeah. Yeah. It reminds me of Jesus when he says, "He who is at the plow and looks back is unworthy of my kingdom."
Mhm.
And we have a tendency of doing that. Even the best, most godly men and women tend to look back and say, "Ah, man, I wish I had taken advantage of teenage, youthful dumbness and gotten away with some stuff that nobody should be doing anyways." But yeah. But yeah, I mean, men and women do tend to favor different characteristics. We like the macho stuff, ain't gonna lie. I mean, I want to sign my son up for jiu-jitsu. I want him to make his opponent cry and wipe the tear off his face and put it on his ball cap or whatever and say, "I got your soul."
I got you.
That was something that our drill instructor did. I
okay.
never forgot that. I thought it was hilarious. I loved it. But, but mothers, they like the handy, the gentle, the book smart, the
Soft-spoken.
soft spoken and just reliable. Yeah. Yeah.
You ready to move on?
Yeah. This is what Bible study should look like, right? Where you're going in, you're not just doing a word study. Oh, this word means this, and back in the day it was used like that, so this is what it's saying. There's depth to it. There's character. There's psychology in there, and
possibilities.
and possibilities.
Of situations that people are in, and why they got in that situation. And
Yeah.
it kind of reminds me what we do. It kind of reminds me of The Chosen. We were watching it the other night, and they decided that Judas Iscariot had a sister, and his sister was very proud of him being part of Jesus's disciples, and said, "Our name is going to be great," and blah blah blah. And my wife said, "I don't remember that." I said, "It's not in the Bible. We don't know if he had a sister or not. It's irrelevant." I said, "But it just kind of adds character to the show, and maybe he did have a sister. Maybe she did say that. It doesn't really matter. But it could be misleading,
Yeah.
or it could be the truth.
Yeah.
We don't know. And it's just like the show. We like to look at different avenues of what could have been.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it was. Doesn't mean it wasn't. But it just kind of brings more life to it.
Yeah. It allows God to speak through it into our lives. Well, when we try to wrap our heads around what was going on in their heads, in their minds, in their souls.
They're just like us. They're just like, they have the same type of thoughts and ideas and desires. And if you just read sentence to sentence to sentence, there's no life in it
Yeah.
unless you bring yourself to the fact, if I was in their shoes, what would I have done?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So we chase down these rabbit trails, as we've said plenty of times before, because the Holy Spirit is here to breathe life into the Scripture that it may impact us. And we are to engage with it. Like Jacob wrestled with God, we are to wrestle with God, with His Word, with our minds. So,
stop me when you want me to stop. This we're getting into something that really, I just love how this whole thing starts playing out.
okay.
Verse 5. Now Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt game and to bring it. So Rebekah spoke to Jacob her son, saying, Indeed, I heard your father speak to Esau your brother, saying, Bring me game and make savory food for me, that I may eat it and bless you in the presence of the Lord before my death. Now, I don't think she was eavesdropping, probably. I think she just heard it because most likely her tent was beside the tent, whatever. But anyway.
Or she was doing stuff around the Jacob's tent, taking care of him and
Yeah.
cleaning up the place and whatever.
Right.
You know.
So, now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to what I command you. Now go to the flock and bring me from there 2 choice kids of the goats, and I will make savory food from them for your father, such as he loves. Then you shall take it to your father, that he may eat it, and that he may bless you before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, Look, Esau, my brother, is a hairy man, and I am a smooth... yeah. And I am a smooth-skinned man. Perhaps my father will feel me, and I shall seem to be a deceiver to him, and I shall bring a curse on myself and not a blessing. But his mother said to him, Let your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice and go get them for me.
So.
Nothing against women, but here we go. The female is trying to manipulate the situation. One of my things is she is telling her son what to do.
Yeah.
Not a very common thing back in those times. It was the son would have been over. I think if she'd have said the same thing to Esau, he would have been like, I don't think so. Because he would have been more aggressive of him.
Yeah, and Esau wasn't much for obeying anyways.
True.
Women's roles in antiquity, we try to, and by we I mean, I shouldn't say we because I'm not in that category as far as intellectuals go, you know, but people that know things that and forgotten more than we will ever learn tend to oversimplify women's roles in antiquity and create a one-dimensional view of it. Sure, the sons in the absence of their father would have been the patriarchs of the house and would have made decisions, and when it came to certain things the mothers would listen. But a mother is still a mother. She's still gonna tell her son what to do because he's forever her baby.
Which proves another point about my idea between Esau and Jacob, of Jacob being a mama's boy. So he's going to listen to her, and and
Yeah.
obey her no matter what. Apparently,
Yeah. But I think it's more than just that. See, Isaac, as we're going to, I mean, Jacob, as we're going to see, is a ready, willing, and able accomplice in this. He's not going to argue with her, but he's going to question her, like, well, like he did, like, I mean, as we read, like, I ain't as hairy as that dude.
yeah,
Dad's going to know. First of all, Dad's going to know from your voice, ain't he? Like, he's blind, not deaf. But he's still working with her plan. It's like, okay, let's do this, but let's make sure we don't get busted.
yeah,
But he's coming from the point where, from the time that they were in the womb, they've been battling for the divine blessing, for the blessing and the divine mandate to lead this household, to accomplish God's purposes. And so he's naturally going to go along with it, because God forbid this wild donkey of a man is the patriarch. And that brings focus to Rebecca's intentions. Like, she's looking at him like, and like you said, when the dad dies, if everything plays out like it ordinarily does, that regularly does, Esau's the patriarch. Do we really want to be taking orders from him? Like, what's going to happen? The business is going to fall apart, because he's not going to be standing on top of it. He's going to mistreat everybody, because, he don't care about anybody but himself. And she's like, I am not 100 years old. I didn't get to live this long just so I could be his handmaiden for the rest of his life and be treated like less than these Hittite women that he brought into the house. Yeah, so I mean, she has every reason to not want him to receive the blessing and the divine mandate. On top of that, she has a prophecy that the Lord gave her, that the younger would be
over the elder.
Over the elder.
Do you think she knew that Esau sold his birthright?
I think so, yeah.
I kind of wonder if Jacob said, "Guess what, Mom?"
Oh, if I was a betting man, I would.
Guess what, Mom?
I would be willing to bet the house and the horse on it.
So we see a lot of what is coming about manipulation.
Yeah.
And we had talked about this earlier. I don't think this was God's plan in this fashion, but because God knows, He uses this.
Yeah.
Because it seems people always get in the way of God's plans.
Yeah.
But God is so, His wisdom is so infinite that He knows how to work situations out with it.
Yeah.
Because we've seen this in, Abraham has Ishmael, and then he has Isaac.
Yeah.
And Ishmael was the rightful person to get the blessing because he was the firstborn son of Abraham. But it didn't work out that way.
And God said no.
The second son got it, and now we're seeing again that the second son is about to get it.
Yeah. It's. I see it kind of like. On one hand, yeah, if she didn't meddle And we're assuming that that wasn't God's will and she just meddled. And let's stay on that track for a second. If she hadn't meddled, maybe Esau would have died. And the problem would have been solved. Maybe a lion ate him,
Wow.
because in those days,
Right.
until the 12th century AD, there were lions in the region. So,
And tigers and bears.
yeah,
Oh my.
really, yeah. So, I mean, God could have taken care of it
Right. Right.
without human hands, or, some unfriendly Philistine trader decides to take competition out. Whatever the case may be. Stuff could have happened. But I think because of one key issue, that this was actually God's will. That it looks unsavory to us, but God is willing to use unsavory means when necessary. And we see this in other prophets' lives where, which king was it? I don't remember. But the prophet says, go, you're going to be victorious. And no, he's not, because God told him to lie to him so that he would die in battle, so that his purposes would be brought to life. Or in the case of, again, I'm drawing blank, where one of the king's men shows up to Elisha's and goes, what say the Lord about this plan, and will he be healed or whatnot? And he goes, yeah, he's going to get over this sickness, but he's going to die. He's going to be healed, but then he's going to die shortly after in other ways. So just go tell him that he's going to be all right. When we look at it from our vantage point, it's like half truth is still a lie. So what is God doing here?
Right.
and I see the same thing, same principle at work here, because if Esau had received the blessing and become the patriarch, then God's name would be attached to Esau. And him being such a distasteful person, that would be a no-go. Because God is not going to rest his name upon the wicked. I don't know.
So many things.
Yeah.
So, Jacob knows that if Isaac finds out, he's going to be ticked.
Yeah.
And he's going to basically put a curse on him.
Yeah.
And so we see Rebecca is more than willing to take that curse upon herself, which I don't know if that's, really could really happen.
One of the sages.
It's almost like saying, I'll take a bullet for you, but they don't.
Yeah, one of the sages said, well, what she meant is that if their father writes him out of his will, she would compensate him with her bride price, with her dowry. And another commentator said that what she was saying was, if you're cursed, if you don't listen to me, I'm going to curse you, because of the ambiguity in the Hebrew.
So now he's stuck between a rock and a hard place, right?
Yeah, so I don't know the veracity of that, but that's actually one of the earlier commentators.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a mess.
So, and as we said before, that Esau must have been like a hairy guy. So, you know, he was the first Bigfoot. Hairy all over. Because of especially what she's about to do. It's like, anyway, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So, where are we at? Verse 14? And he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory food such as his father loved. Then Rebekah took the choice clothes of her elder son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob, her son. And she put the skins of the kids of goats on his hands and on the smooth part of his neck. Then she gave the savory food and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. Now, I've seen goats. I've seen how hairy these goats are. It's just solid hair. It's like petting my German Shepherd. Okay, full of hair.
Yeah.
Putting them on his arms and on the back of his neck. That's a lot of hair.
Yeah. And it's a lot coarser than, let's say, lamb's wool or anything like that. It's kind of like what, a little coarser than the beard hair. What is this guy? Are you sure he's Isaac's son? Are you sure he's not half goat?
Goat man.
He's like chupacabra.
Yeah. So, so now we've got this whole thing set up where he's fixing to go see his dad. He's wearing these goat skins. He's got this food. And he's about to go inside to trick his father to make an effort. I'm going to say he made an effort. And not a very good one at that.
And I don't think Isaac bought it either. Like, he went along with it. But to your point,
So-
it was not a Broadway show.
No. This is because there's several things that happen here that Isaac is like, okay, this happened, and this is like this, and this is like this. So there's three major points that he's going to see
Figuratively.
that just doesn't match up, but yet he goes along with it.
I mean, it's so obvious even a blind man can see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Verse 18, so he went to his father and said, my father. And he said, here I am. Who are you, my son? I gotta stop right there. So apparently, Jacob is not disguising his voice whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? and I don't think he meant by who are you as like, I don't know who you are, but as in, who do you think you are? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I can picture that Jacob probably had a higher tone voice than his brother,
Yeah, probably.
which may have had a lower voice, deeper voice. I'm sure they didn't have the same, because, Isaac is like, this isn't Esau, so who do you think you are?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jacob said to his father, I'm Esau, your firstborn. I have done just as you had told me. Please arise, sit and eat of my game, that your soul may bless me. Number 2. But Isaac said to his son, how is it that you have found it so quickly, my son? And said, because the Lord your God brought it to me.
Yeah.
There he knows that his son goes out to hunt an hour ago. Oh, we'll say 3 hours ago even.
Right.
First he's got to get out to where they are, kill it, and then bring it back, and then dress it, and still cook it.
Yeah.
But he's already back with his prized catch here.
And there's something else too that tells him, if we're paying attention, remembering that Esau was not a God-fearing man, and Jacob is, because the Lord your God brought it to me. That's not something Esau would have said.
That's a good point.
Like, he would have said, "I'm just that good."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Verse 21. Then Isaac said to Jacob, "Please come near, that I may feel you, my son, whether you are really my son Esau or not." So Jacob went near to Isaac his father, and he felt him and said, "The voice is Jacob's, but the hands are the hands of Esau." And he did not recognize him because his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. Then he said, "Are you really my son Esau?" He said, "I am." So he's feeling this goat hair. I would imagine that. You sound like my son Jacob. Jacob didn't even try to disguise his voice whatsoever. Isaac can't be that stupid.
He's blind, not dumb,
Uh-huh.
not deaf. But I come from it thinking about it like this. He probably knew what the Lord had told Rebecca. He probably heard about the deal between Jacob and Esau.
The birthright.
Yeah.
So
And he just didn't care. Or he figured, if the Lord really wants it to be that way, he'll show me somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And turns out, this cockamamie production is God's hilarious way of saying, Isaac, you're not listening to me. You're not listening to your wife. You're not listening to your own sons. And you're just going down this trail because you want to be in your fields. So, wake up and smell the roses. Mm-hmm. This is what I have ordained, as I told your wife, as I orchestrated between your sons already.
even at birth, holding on to the heel of his brother.
Like, listen to me now, and let this play out. Because there's no other. Like you said, he's not dumb. He's not retarded. Like, he's not Dominus Rex from the new whatever. That's Jurassic Park. There's a lot of memes going on with the new dinosaur that they came up with.
Oh,
People are making bad. Oh my god, it's so funny.
but we have a flat out, just a flat out lie, bold faced lie. I am Esau.
Yeah.
I am who you want me to be, so to speak. I may not be Esau, but I am who you want me to be, so that you can give me the blessing. Which he had full rights, in a sense, since Esau sold his birthright.
Now put yourself in Jacob's shoes. I am the man that my father is. I am the kind of man that God wants me to be. Mm-hmm. Yet I'm still not loved and respected and celebrated as Esau is. It's
By him. By
Isaac.
Yeah.
And so the I am is also like, I am the one that Esau should have been. I am the Esau that Esau should have been. I am just the emotional baggage there. Mm-hmm. Like, I wish I was the fly on this family's therapist wall. Like when they sit on that couch and they discuss their issues with their therapist, it's pure gold. Pure gold.
Verse 25. He said, "Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's game, so that my soul may bless you." So he brought it near to him, and he ate. And he brought him wine, and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, "Come near me now, kiss me, my son." And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled of his clothing, and blessed him, and said, let me stop right there. So he smells Esau's clothing on Jacob, and he's like, whatever. I can smell his clothes. I know this isn't really him, just by the voice. Just by the voice. But as you said, I think Isaac knew the whole charade here. And he's like, in the back of his mind, Esau sold his birthright. He has no right to receive the firstborn blessing because he no longer has it. He lost it. He had disrespected his birthright just because he was hungry and could not wait to fix his own food or even have his mother fix it, but just had to have that food right away. It was impatient. He couldn't wait.
Yeah.
And so it's backfired on him big time. His idea of the birthright was not that important to him, which God had already seen beforehand, and that's why Jacob's receiving it.
Yeah.
It's because God needed somebody who would take that birthright and take that blessing and continue on with his plan with Abraham, with the promise of Abraham is his seed continuing.
Yeah. I love how you described it, a charade, because I mean, what did she do? Make glue and glue it to him, or tie it with a little rope? How did he not feel where the skin
Rolled back some?
like? But yeah, I mean,
Maybe he just went like this. Yep,
Oh.
that's my boy.
yeah, maybe.
That's
But-
good enough.
Yeah.
I mean that's how I see it. It is Esau had such disrespect for the family matters that Isaac knew that. As we say, he wasn't blind to that fact.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was just God's will. Halfway through verse 27. Surely the smell of my son is like the smell of a field which the Lord has blessed. Therefore may God give you of the dew of heaven, of the fatness of the earth, and plenty of grain and wine. Let peoples serve you, and nations bow down to you. Be master of over your brethren, and let your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be those who bless you. It's funny how that was going through, and I know there's a reason why he says the dew of heaven. It's not. That's a metaphor. It's not the physical dew that comes from the air, but it's the
Yeah.
blessings.
Yeah.
And the fatness of the earth is is the richness of the earth that he would gain throughout his lifetime. Uh, Peoples serve you, nations bow down.
Yeah.
Be master over your brother, which he had more than just Esau. He had more brothers other than him, from what I understand. They're just not in the picture as usual. It's normally just the elder brother that's in the picture, but that's changing.
I mean, the other brothers are normally named. I don't know of any other brother.
Well, it says, and let your mother's sons bow down to you. So that's plural.
Yeah, but where are they? They're not attested to.
They may be much younger, and they're just not in the picture.
Maybe.
That, these guys were at least 40,
Yeah.
maybe in their 50s.
Yeah.
The other sons may be in their 20s or 30s. Because since Isaac he lives to be 180, didn't say that he didn't have any more children.
Didn't say.
And
that
it doesn't
here
always it doesn't always state that whether they did or not.
Well, I mean, it kind of does though. Like with Abraham, Ishmael, Isaac, and then all the children of Keturah. Before that, it says it doesn't name the names, but it says, and he had other sons and daughters.
Yeah, same
So-
thing with Adam.
Yeah, all the way back to Adam. Yeah,
Yeah.
in
So
every
it doesn't-
generation.
doesn't spill my drink. I don't want to spill my sun drop.
No.
It doesn't always name all the children
Yeah.
because it's not relevant to what we need to know. And I like I said, I only assume that he had other sons because it says mother's sons.
Yeah, that verse begs the question. Like, if so, where are they, and what happened to them? Because with Abraham, it was so insistent upon us to know that he gave them gifts and sent them away, and the same thing should have happened here, or well, towards the end of his life.
Well, it may have. It just didn't record it.
Yeah,
we
which
just
is
don't know.
odd. Which is odd. Like, that's something that
Well, Moses might have been like, they know what's going on.
I
I
guess it's possible. It just doesn't sit right with me. Not yet that ambiguity,
okay.
but yeah, like you said, very well may have been. Yeah.
We're seeing the let the peoples serve you and nations bow down to you. We're going to see this come into fruition with Jacob's sons, and one in particular,
Yeah.
where one of Jacob's sons becomes very popular and ends up having nations coming to him.
Yeah.
So, anything you'd like to add on to this? I think an hour and a half is... No, it's been an hour. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
An hour.
I mean, I think that's a good place to stop. And, comes to terms with there are things that we will never know. even if it drives me nuts. Right? But once again, we're faced with the fact that God knows the end from the beginning, and that He is free to choose and use whatever methods He chooses to do so with. And in certain places, in certain occasions, it can be the funniest, most hilarious drama that we could have ever imagined. Like, it took 4,000 years for some Hollywood writer to come up with anything similar to this. You know, this is. But the lesson remains the same. God is holy, and He has a plan, and those plans are carried out by those who listen and obey Him. And we might have some really messed up families, but in the end, God is our Father. He loves us, He cares for us, and He has a future for us. And no matter what the enemy or our families throw in our faces, throw our ways, He will not be denied having His good pleasure come to fruition. This is, of course, more than just a personal destiny. It's tied to the salvation of the entire world. So it's a little more critical than just I don't feel like cooking, and so I'm gonna sell my baseball card collection to my brother for some food, something like that. But let us learn to live and deal with one another graciously and live righteously, so that maybe if we are a member of a family as dysfunctional as this, we can break that curse in our generation and not pass it on to the next, not traumatize the next generation is the contemporary phraseology, I guess. But if this has been a blessing to you, if you found this interesting, if this has given you new ways of thinking about things, then please consider partnering with us by liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting. That really does help. It tells YouTube that, hey, there's something here and maybe they should share this video with other people. If you care about the gospel and the word of God being preached as far and wide as possible, this is our call to action. If you have other thoughts, please put it in the comments. If you think we misspoke about certain things, please put it in the comments. If you want us to pray with you or pray for you, you can put it in the comments, or you can email us at support@firmfoundationspodcast.com. Otherwise, you can mail us snail mail at this address.
Yeah.
It's going to be there in post-production. It's not there right now, so I don't know like where my finger is exactly pointing.
It's right in this area.
So yeah. But would you like to share the other item?
Sure. So we would like to hear from you and hear from your church, and we would like to advertise for your church. If you would send us a T-shirt that has your church name and logo, whatever, or a hat, we would love to advertise for you free of charge, of course. We probably wear it more than one time, so don't feel like you might be getting ripped off for a freebie. I wear a large. He's a double X. Hats are probably just one size fits all. But we would love to support your church. And like I said, free advertising where people can see your address, and we can, somebody happens to be seeing this and they're in your area, they can see, hey, you know, the word of God is being preached in that particular church. There are certain religions that we do not support. One being Jehovah Witness. Another would be, of course, Satan's Church. We would not. The other is Mormon, Church of Mormon, because their beliefs are not fully from the Word of God. Theirs has been manipulated by another person or even entity. But also, we would really love to hear if you have accepted Christ as your Savior, so that we may celebrate that with you. And we will, we won't mention names. That's not our position, but just to say that we've got another brother or sister in Christ to celebrate. So.
So, thank you for tuning in, and till next time, God bless you.